guys, and welcome back to Archie Hamilton Racing, where you join me, well, in the middle of nowhere. But let's get cracking with today's video. Last night I put on my Instagram that I'm going to be doing a Q&A. Every now and then I love to do it, get you guys fully involved and answer your questions, just what is going on with the channel, my life, etc. I didn't bring my car because today this is the one that I am driving. You may have seen before, I have done a video on this car. This is my dad's Audi SQ7. And because I got on the train, I said, do you mind if I swap over my SVR and borrow today your SQ7? He was like, no problem at all, just don't crash it. And I thought, okay, but here it is, the SQ7. He's loving it, it really is. So it's only featured on my channel once before, but it has been an amazing car for him. Here it is, parked up in the countryside where we are today. And yes, it is an epic bit of kit, it really is. I think it looks amazing. It really does look amazing. And the diesel V8 that it has in it, it's quick, 429 roughly brake horsepower. And like I say, it looks good and drives very well as well. And he's been having many happy miles in it. And could one of these potentially come to the channel at some point? Well, we're going to talk about that in today's video and talk more about this car as well. One thing which hasn't gone so well for him is parking, clearly. I don't think he's learned how to park quite well. There's a few of those on here, but it is wicked. If we walk around this way and you can just see the presence of it. No, I'm not going to say that, but I like it. I really like the colour as well. Kind of like a grey, got a bit of green in the grey. I like it. Green in the grey, does that make sense? And then you go to the front of it and he has a BRDC badge because my father, he is a BRDC member, British Racing Drivers Club. We're both proud members of that club. But yeah, it's a really cool bit of kit. Many of you have said, are you going to keep the SVR? What's the future with that car? Why are you selling all your cars? Well, I'm going to explain what is going on, basically, what is happening with it, and if there is going to be a new daily coming to the channel if the SVR was to be replaced. I think that all made sense. So last night, me and my dad were having a discussion over dinner about miles per gallon on the SVR, and you guys know that it's not the best fuel efficient car. Well, this is ridiculous, the miles per gallon you get out of it, sort of 30, 40 miles, something like that. Mine, well, I fuel it up a lot and it shocked him. I was like, round London, it's not the best. Anyway, but we're going to talk all of those things when we jump in this car. So, not ideal. My GoPro's decided to have an SD card error, so I pulled over and I'm going to use this camera instead, so I do apologise for that. It's totally not ideal, so I'll have to get a new GoPro first thing tomorrow morning. So Tom Pound 97 said, where do you see your channel going? Do you just want to do buying and selling cars, etc., but do you want to differentiate content? I do not want to spend my channel buying and selling cars. That is not my aim at all. I've said recently that I do need to differentiate my content. I am going to be doing that, and next week is my massive announcement to my channel. The biggest announcement that I've ever done is coming next week, so you are going to see exactly what is going on, and it includes obviously the whole racing side. I've worked really hard to get to this point, and you're going to see. I can't give too many clues. The announcement is coming. So I do want to do more track stuff. Obviously I've got the simulator coming. That is arriving shortly from Vasaro. This track's chaos. Yeah, it's very bumpy. And coming up to here is the corkscrew. It's called the corkscrew. The left and the right. So you've got to point the car that direction, then you pick up the second apex. And that's going into my new apartment, so content's going to differentiate there as well. Things are changing in a really exciting way. So no, obviously the buying and selling cars is fine, but it's just not really my style. I don't really just want to do that, to be honest with you. Another question is, why are you selling all of your cars? Well, obviously the Lamborghini Huracan, I own that for a year. That is currently for sale at Redline, and that is probably going to be gone in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, well, man. Oh man! The SVR, I haven't actually announced I'm selling that car. That's not necessarily my plan. And also Dean has said to me that he might have someone potentially who wants to make an offer on the SVR. It's not the reason why I'm in this car. It's not at Redline at the moment, but there is a chance that the SVR might go, but it would be immediately replaced with something else. I have also stated that I am potentially keen to get a new SVR. So that is another option as well if the car does suddenly go. So there are options out there. SQ7, you know what? I would look into an SQ7. I would look into a C63S saloon, things like that. And another question is, would I replace it with an Audi RS6? Obviously, we know the new Audi RS6 is coming, so that is very doubtful, just because of how much older the interior is. And I think as a daily driver, you want sort of the nice dash and things like that. So definitely potentially like a Merc, or we'll see. Someone has said, do you have a girlfriend? Let's just go straight off topic. No, not at the moment. I'm pretty busy with the traveling and stuff like that, so single for now. Sean_BT, I think, _fitness. I'm seriously looking into getting back into some sort of racing, but don't have the wealth. Obviously, racing is very expensive. It costs a lot of money, thousands, hundreds of thousands. What championship would you recommend that is relatively cheap? You could get into something like the Mini Challenge or things like that, which are a little bit more cheaper, not expensive, they are cheaper. Karting is a very good way of going racing and saving a lot of money in that respect. The thing is, when you go car racing, you are into the thousands instantly. I remember when I was doing Formula Renault, a new set of tyres was like £1,000. We were bolting on 3 sets of tyres for the weekend. When I was racing, I had to raise, Formula Renault, let's say for Formula Renault, for example, I was raising 150 to 200,000 pounds just to go racing for that year. Not family money, sponsors, and it was hard, like really, really hard. Then if you go to the next level, such as Formula 3, I couldn't go to Formula 3 because I didn't have the budget. I think I needed to find £500,000 just for the year to go racing. So no, just didn't happen, Formula 3. So then I went to the Porsche series, again, sponsors, just hunting around, just begging people to help me keep racing. And that was about £250,000 a year. £250,000. I'm going to talk in pounds, it's the easiest way to do that. And then obviously I did stuff like the International GT Open.
Way up through the order, and this has been a big step up this weekend for Arch, and he's really risen to the challenge very well. He sides, or attempts to side past the Ferrari, gets a little bit squeezed there by Jesus Diaz Villarreal, and eventually he goes around him. Lost a little bit of time that lap, but it's no concern.
And as I said yesterday, I had my money on the two of them for yesterday's race. I think today they've just showed what a strong driver pairing they are.
Really have done. Another very strong driver pairing, Marco Mappelli and Archie Hamilton. They are well set to take an emphatic victory.
And Le Mans, it just adds up so fast. So to answer your question, karting is a very affordable way of going racing, and if not, sort of something like the Mini Challenge, Citroen 2CV, Fun Cup, there's a series called Fun Cup, that's very cool. You can, 3-4 of you can all get together, rent a Fun Cup car and have a bit of fun. So maybe share a car, that's sometimes a bit of a cheaper way of doing it. Obviously, even though you're sharing with your mates, it's a bit more fun, but you might save some money on tyres and things like that. So yeah, racing is expensive. I can't actually pronounce this, but I do apologise. Apart from YouTube, what other jobs do you do on the side? Well, YouTube pretty much is everything I do. I am flat out with it, doing three to four videos a week roughly. So YouTube is my full-time thing. A lot of traveling and things like that, but I love it. I love making the content for you all. So that is something I really love doing. When can we expect to see the new supercar? I reckon it's going to be in the next 3 to 4 weeks. That's hopefully the plan, when new car will be arriving. Obviously when the Lamborghini Huracan sold, then I can jump into the new one. A45 or new SVR? Well, A45 was the daddy for me. It really was great. So you know what? I love the A45. It's great. I'm going to say A45. It was that good for me on my channel and everything. It was perfect. I love that price range as well. That 30 to 40,000 pound price bracket where you can modify the car as well as that. And I just drove that car everywhere. I really didn't. And fuel consumption wasn't that bad. It was great. Not great, but it wasn't as bad as the SVR. Someone has said, Archie the man. Thank you. That was it. That's literally all you've said, but okay. Coming to Australia, potentially. I'd love to do some more travelling with everything I do. So yeah, there is potential that I do, and tours. A lot of you guys have been asking about tours. Hopefully there will be more as well. A very good question here. How do you insure all of your cars at such a young age? And I think I will do a video talking about insurance and things like that, because it is expensive. This is not cheap, and to insure the cars like the Huracan and the SVR, it's not cheap. So I think that's a whole video explaining how the insurance thing works. And more questions when the new supercars coming. Would you consider an M3 to replace the SVR? You know what? I think I would. I think the M3 is mega. It really is. Obviously, I own the M2. Me and the M2 didn't get on, but I think an M3, I love how they look. I think they look great. So I'm going to be on the hunt, I think, to find something if the SVR does go. Someone has said, do you actually pull birds in the SVR? Next question. What car would you get if you could only have one car in the garage? One. Now you got me. It would probably be one car. And this is where a lot of people do say that, and if you've only got one car, then a new SVR it's just kind of does everything. When will the simulator arrive? So as you may know, I announced that I am going to be doing simulator content. So this is going to be coming from my new apartment. I've just secured a new apartment in London, which I move into very shortly. And I'm building a simulator room. So from that, I can stream at home. And so I'm going to be doing live streams on YouTube, live streams on Twitch. I'm going to be doing a video a week roughly with me on the simulator, teaching different lines, teaching different circuits, different cars, everything from Formula 1 to Le Mans cars. It's all going to be coming on the channel, and I'm going to be doing sort of different stuff with that. So the racing stuff is very hard because, you know, it's expensive to go on a track day every single week. It just costs a lot of money, thousands. But now, thanks to Vasaro, I have a simulator going in my room, or my spare room at home. It's going to be a simulator room, and I'm going to make that sort of content because I don't just want to make the same stuff doing laps around London. I want to make nice content. I want to take this channel in a direction which is different, and doing different stuff. So the racing is going to be a very, very prominent part of my channel this year, and I really just want to mix things up. I don't just want to do the same stuff. And I read the comments and I'm like, you know what, everyone doesn't just want the same stuff. Racing, that is what we're going to be doing. So I read it and I've taken it all on board, and I will be bringing to you all a lot more racing stuff. What was your first car? My first car was a Renault Clio, which in fact I shared with my sister. Does that count as a first car? Yeah, I think we had arguments every week who wanted to drive it, because I passed my test and I wanted to drive it, and I think she wanted to drive it. And then my other car from there was a Ford Fiesta. Loved it. The gearbox went bang, unfortunately, so that was very sad. After that, I managed to sort of get a few jobs in the racing world instructing and sort of earn a little bit more money. So I financed an Audi A3, which I really liked. So after that, I got an Audi A4. And then after that, I got a Mercedes C-Class diesel, all of these diesel. And then I had an Audi A1. Has there been any difference into your diet / workout routines post-racing, and obviously deciding now wanting to get back into it? I've been massively into my fitness a lot before. I think with the traveling side and things, it gets harder to keep it up. I've been big into sort of intense sort of training as well. But yes, it does differentiate. Very hard to keep your diet bang on all the time, and I think you guys know that as well as I do, that when you're traveling it's very hard and you sort of grab sort of chocolate and things like that, and it's not ideal. But the fitness side, I do like to keep it up to a reasonable level, and I gym roughly 5 times a week. So for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm in the gym 5 times a week. Early in the morning usually, mixing it up with cardio and mixing it up with weights as well. So I like to do that. It keeps me, I think it's good for your brain. Tony, thanks Tony Gravelwood. Why did you not buy a new SVR? That's because my picture on Instagram was me sat on the SVR, and he's like, why did you not buy a new one? You know why? Because at the time, I couldn't afford one, Tony, and you know this, so why are you trying to rib me? I'd like to know if you can match your trainers to your paint. I don't know what you quite mean by that. Okay. What is your dream car? My dream car. Good question. I think it's LaFerrari. After doing the Rimac versus LaFerrari race and driving the LaFerrari flat out, the doors, the fact it's got a Ferrari badge, as well as that, LaFerrari is just absolutely insane. Would you consider buying a Performante? I have considered even Tony's one, buying that one off him. But then I look at a lot of the comments on YouTube and you guys are like, get the GT3 RS. So I've got Dean on the case of the GT3 RS. And maybe do the Porsche route next and GT3 RS and track that and bring proper content with that. Different content, because I think there's not necessarily, from what I can see in the comments, people saying, you guys saying, there's not necessarily a big difference between a Performante and a Hurricane in terms of content, so mix it up. Would you ever see yourself being a car trader in the future like Tony? You know what? Before I did YouTube Live, I did that, to be honest. So I was buying and selling cars on my own, just trying to get by. And I loved it. I think it's really, really good fun. So definitely, yeah, I wouldn't rule it out. I'm always surrounded by cars. I love that. So you know what? Yeah, I would. 100%. I love it. Is chaos a real thing? Does it involve Haribo? Yeah, chaos is just a word which I think myself, Tom and others have just been saying it too much, and yeah, sorry about that. When are you going to use the go-kart? There is an exciting video coming up with the go-kart. I have been using it, to be honest with you, so I'm going to be back in that, and like I say, more racing stuff. The go-kart's going to be used. Content is changing massively, and it's just a really exciting time for me, because you know what, I just don't want to make the same stuff all the time, and I want to make it something where you're gonna see this week. Just wait, the big announcement is this week, so I can't talk too much about it. This is one which I get asked a lot, and it is a very, very good question. What got you into the car scene and what made you start the YouTube channel? Well, basically I was racing professionally in 2014 and 2015, and then massive sponsors pulled out. I was left with no sponsors. I just signed a big deal and game over, left in the lurch. And then I met the car YouTubers. I was assigned as their instructor. So Paul Wallace, Seen Through Glass, Shmee150, Seb Delaney, etc. We were all on the same day, and I was their instructor, and I had to basically pass them to get their racing license. I didn't know really what car YouTube was at this point, if I'm totally honest with you. I didn't understand, I didn't know. And then we all started hanging out together, and I think it was Paul and Seb that said, why don't you start a YouTube channel and call it Archie Hamilton Racing? And I was like, you must be mad. I was like, I can't do that. I can't even speak on the phone, let alone speak on the camera. And then in the end, I got going, and that was it. I bought a £100 camera, which it's expensive, got that, started, and then that is how Archie Hamilton Racing YouTube channel came around. RS4 or RS6? Good question. RS4 at the moment, because just how much newer it is. Until the new RS6 comes out, that's going to be the car, if I got something like that, RS4, to be honest with you, because just everything inside's new. And same with this, the SQ7. The SQ7 is amazing, and you've got all the lovely dash and things like that, and the RS6 is looking dated now. But the new RS6, which has been testing around the Nürburgring, is going to be incredible. So yes, the new RS6 is going to be amazing. So I think when that is all done, it's going to be absolutely insane. So new RS6 all day long, old RS6 to new RS4, RS4, new RS4 to new RS6, RS6. So there we go. I've answered quite a few of your questions, but this week obviously is an exciting week for me, and we'll see. And like I say, I need to sort out everything what's going on with the SVR and see what's happening, and maybe that will be replaced, and then my supercar will be replaced. But I like one of the questions which did come in, I don't just want my channel to be around buying and selling cars. The cars are going to be involved, don't get me wrong. They're going to have their part in there, and that is always going to become a thing. But what is about to come up is massively exciting with the simulator, and also my big announcement coming this week as well. It's all changing, and I'm buzzing because it's my passion. If I'm honest with you, it's my absolute passion, and I feel that I'm one step closer I can't say. And there we go, I've now jumped out of the SQ7. Unfortunately, like an SD card corrupting, we've just sat here and we had a lovely chat in there. So I'm gonna head on my way back and drop this cart back off at my dad's. And maybe one of these will come to the garage at some point. We will see. Everything is gonna be sorted in the next couple of days. But I hope I have answered a lot of your questions. And yeah, exciting times coming up, guys. It really is. And you just wanna stay tuned because I feel my dreams are becoming a reality. But like I said, I've just been loving driving this. Quiet, compared to the SVR, it's so quiet, so smooth, and everything else. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great. It really, really is. So we will see what happens in the future. Maybe one of them will come to the garage. I just fall a little bit in love with that, to be honest with you. Like I say, the announcement is coming this week, guys. Oh, it's going to be cool. It's going to be very, very cool. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all, well, next couple of days. See you soon.